If you're in the market for a luxury executive saloon like a BMW 5 Series, Mercedes E-Class, Audi A6, and you're not having a look at this car in that mix, you're looking at the wrong car. Welcome to the Next Gear Show. I know some of you will be saying that there's no way that a conservative Japanese company like Lexus could compete with the German brands, but you know, you're wrong, or you haven't driven one of these. And Lexus marketing tell me that if you get bums on seats, if people come and actually drive the car, they tend to buy the car, and that's kind of what it is. It comes down to a sort of a marketing budget thing. This is something entirely different, but yet the same as the German cars. And I'm telling you now, the interior of this is better built than most of the Germans offering right now. Now, I'm also aware that I've just been over to Spain, Mallorca, to have a test of the new version of this, which is the updated version. This is not new, it's an updated version. They did most of the same stuff as here. They brought that screen a little bit closer to me and they replaced this mechanical screen inside with an electronic one, but pretty much it drove the same. And the reason is, it's very, very good. I have very simple things like automatic heated seats that come on when it's cold. You don't have to press them, just come on their own. You can turn that off, by the way. Automatic, whether the air comes in from the outside or is the recycled air from inside here. There's just so many little natty features that come on. And the seat and steering wheel is full electric. There's so many optional extras on this car that are just standard. They're not options, they're options on the German brands. This is also very natty. It opens that way and opens that way. It's like witchcraft. Just so weird to see the two of them do that thing. But there's a wireless charger here. It takes a bit much room. I get that. I wouldn't really worry about that too much. It's actually a good wireless charger. It charges quite fast. You can use a USB key, a USB cable if you want. This does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto built in as standard. Like, what more do you want? Like, even the back seat. And that seat is set for me. Look at that space. Like, look at huge space. Nice door bins. There's 2.1 volt amp USB ports here, 12 volt in the middle of it. You get this big luxurious armrest in the center of that. You can lift this up. You got cubby holes everywhere. You got little cup holders on the front of that. You do have a load through system here to allow you to load long loads straight through the center. This is properly vertically flat out like that so you can lie against it. It is a proper luxury car. So one thing you worry about when you start a Lexus is that is it started or not started, but every light comes on the dashboard, which is fine, you know, does well. I'm going to put my little lane here. That's the parking sensor telling me there's a ditch there. It's not giving out about anything else, it's just the ditch is attached to me. So why I go on with this car, particularly the F Sport one, this is the F Sport version of it, is that it has probably the best suspension outside of an S-Class. It really has. It just has this fabulous way of evening out the whole bumps. And this isn't even the kind of executive comfort one. This is the more sporty one of the group. And I find it really odd that, that this car is just so good at that. It just does this crappy road with grass up the middle of it. And I'm driving along this road here and I cannot feel those bumps and undulations of the road. It just cushions them all out. Lexus is a very reliable brand. Those who buy Lexus tend to continue keeping Lexus, and that's sometimes the problem for Lexus, in that someone buys a one, there's a pile of pheasants having a meeting over here in the corner, literally 4 of them. What are you doing, lads? 5 of them there. Wow, if I had a shotgun. We'd be having pheasants for dinner. Lexus, what happens is someone buys a Lexus, then they keep it. They just keep it. 10 years, 15 years. You see them around, older Lexus just driving by, all hybrids as well. And this one is a hybrid, and I know some of you now are rattling your swords going, but it's not a self-charging hybrid. It's another pheasant here running up the middle of the road. Get out of the way! Fly over the hedge! Fly, you fool, fly! He's in the middle of the road. What do I do with him? It's disturbing my review. You have wings. Use them, you clown. Put a bit of pressure on them. Make it run faster. Run faster! can't get rid of the pheasant. There's a ditch there, look, go into it. Run now, turn right, turn right, Charlie. Come on, there you go. Bye now. Bye. Now he flies, look at the clown. So I know some of you out there who are BEV users, you know, you're into the environmental impact of things, you don't like the marketing behind stuff, and then you're going to get upset because this is a self-charging hybrid. And I know it's not self-charging. It doesn't just charge on its own using the force or electricity or something. It uses a petrol engine to do most of the charging. Some of the charging does come from deceleration, from, you know, resistance charging, that sort of stuff that goes on inside the car, and it does it incredibly cleverly. This is a smarter car than you all give it credit for, and there's the problem you don't think about. You're so hung up on the self-charging hybrid thing, you don't think about just how efficient this car is. I have done 400 kilometers on less than half a tank of petrol, and this petrol, average fuel consumption, you know, according to the car, is 5.7 litres per 100 kilometres, and most of that was done either very late at night coming home from an airport or very early in the morning going to an airport. So all motorway stuff. 2.5 litre Atkinson engine out in front. Sorry, Atkinson cycle engine out in front. And it does a super job at moving it around. Now, the noise is not deadly, and that's just the engine sound in general. I find that really nobody is investing much in the sound of the petrol engine anymore, and to make it sound nice, and that sort of 6-cylinder, 8-cylinder, you know, V8 stuff. It just sounds like an engine. Just sounds like a motor doing its job out the front. That's kind of it. Largely speaking, when I'm driving along, you don't hear much of the engine. It just doesn't really, especially when you're driving the kids to school, which I did this morning in this car, and it just looks brilliant. I wouldn't necessarily buy it in black. I'm not a black car fan. I think they look great when they're clean, but they're dirty in about 2.7 seconds after you get them clean. So that's why I wouldn't necessarily buy a black car. Now, there isn't a great colour selection, and there is only one set of wheels you can have on the F Sport one as well, as you can on the website. Prices are the usual fare, very competitively priced versus its German counterparts. You do have to look at the price of a petrol alternative to this car, because obviously Toyota or Lexus don't do diesel engines in their passenger vehicles, and have never done them now at this stage. You'd have to go way back now to get a diesel engine out of a Lexus one. But when you look at when they go down to like the ploughing championships, so people still ask for diesel engine. This is our problem here in Ireland. We still incentivise. Minister Eamon Ryan, the Minister for Finance, needs to listen up, lads. You're still incentivising the purchase of diesel cars. You still allow businesses to collect the VAT back off a diesel engine, but you don't equal the food chain by allowing them to draw back the VAT on a petrol engine, hybrid, PHEV, but you do allow the tax breaks on the BEV version. So you can claim the VAT back off your electricity, but you still can't really claim it back off the fuel going into your electric cars unless you meter that separately. End rant. Now, I don't think that diesel is the enemy, really. I think there's just too many diesels on the market. I think fairly shortly there'll be too many petrols on the market, and then there'll come a point where there might be too many electric cars in the market because we're just oversubscribing. We've got too many of them out there again. And for whatever reason, I'm sure in another 10 or 15 years' time, we'll find reasons that electric cars are also harming the environment. They're terrible for the environment, just like we did with diesel, just like we did with petrol, and just like we did with electric the first time round. This is all historical fact, by the way. I know people think that I hate on electric cars, but I don't actually. I just think they're bad value for what they are these days. Since you get so many toys and kits in this car, relatively economical, and not even relative, it just is economical. I can't find anything I don't like about this car. That's just the way it is. There's things that kind of annoy me. The touchpad maybe is a little bit annoying, but actually it's better than a touch screen, usually stabbing away at things. At least you can see what you're touching here. You can, you're touching stuff there, you can see exactly what you're landing on every single time. It's a lovely touchscreen. Steering wheel, fab. Ride and handling control, top 10, maybe even number 1 for the ride and handling part. There's sport modes and stuff you can go into, forget it. Just leave it in normal, it does its job perfectly well. You can go into sport and sport plus if you want to. When you click that, things go red here on the dashboard. Click it again, everything goes red and white, and it looks very aggressive looking. But the car itself doesn't really do a whole lot more than it did a second ago. You've gone into that mode. You press the center one to go back to normal, up to go to Sport S, and then up again to go to Sport S Plus, which allows you then to be able to, when you floor it, you hear the engine now. Everything goes yellow on the dashboard when it gets close to its rev limit. It's very good. I love that system. It's really nice. It's just an entertaining thing to watch. You don't go, wow, look at the yellow, it goes yellow, and then it goes right, and it's just deadly as it goes along, as it reaches rev. But the noise is not deadly. Even in that Sport Plus mode, it doesn't make a great noise for a car that's meant to be aggressive, you know. But it does hit the red line fairly rapid, yeah. It's good. It's very good. I would, and I mean this with all my heart, if I had enough money, I would buy this car today. I think it's very good. I think it's one of the best cars on the market at the moment, even though it's got a new refreshed model coming out, which might actually be out by the time you see this video, because I've been over in Mallorca to have a look at the car and actually drive the updated refreshed model, and it's just as good. This is just lovely. They've made some nice changes to the interior, nothing too hectic, still really comfortable to drive, and F-Sport is still a model to actually get. So as I started out saying at the beginning of this video, if you're in the market for a luxury saloon car and you're looking at Audi A6, Mercedes E-Class or BMW 5 Series, and for God's sake, go down to the local Lexus showroom and have a look at one of these, because their difference is night and day. This is a gorgeous car and I absolutely love it. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you've hit the subscribe button. Hopefully you've enjoyed some of the changes around here. Tons more plans for this channel. It's going to get very, very busy on the channel very soon. So make sure you hit the subscribe button. Thank you very much for watching, and until the next time, I will see you on the far side.